So the slab roller is located in the corner of the kiln room. Here's part of it, and then these are the two shelves, the table, and then this is the canvas. And I'll show you how to put it together. So if you're looking around for the handle and you're like, oh my goodness, I lost it, it's stuck to the back of these, of the table. So, like just pulls off like this and like that. And then you attach it so that it lines up with the notch, and then you just tighten it. And then you simply just put the table on, there's the notches there, and then those go right into the bars. So you just hook it right on there and it goes. The setting I had is right about at 3/8 of an inch. That seems to be a good thickness for the portrait tiles. Okay, I think I figured out the best way to roll these slabs is to take a block. So take a block of clay. Use a typical 25-pound block. You're going to slice it this way, so in 3 sections. This is a third of it, and then lengthwise.
Okay, we're on.
Okay, so here's the section of one of the pieces of clay, and then we're gonna roll it out just a little bit. Then we can feed it in a little easier, and you also want it to be wide enough so that it's got 2 tiles wide. So the way the slab roller works is we have the 2 canvases on top of each other, and you want to put it a little bit hanging out over the edge, and then you're going to put in the slab sideways like this, because what happens is it's going to push all the clay that way, so it has to be wide enough to get started with the width. So then you pull the top layer over, and then you pull with one hand and crank with the other hand. And once you get it started, then you can just hold on so it doesn't wiggle. And then on the other side, you have your slab. Now we're going to take a sharp metal tool like this, is what I like to use to cut. And you want to try to make sure you're going to get 6 tiles for each slab is your goal. And it looks like we'll be able to do that with this. So what we'll do is you just trace over the paper like this, and this just cuts right through the clay. The tendency for clay that's been rolled through a slab roller is that it wants to curl up in the original position of the clay. So to keep your edges from curling, we're gonna actually lift it up and put it over on the slab like that. But before we do, one trick is that you can, if you have 2 classrooms or 3 classrooms, you can put a little circle on the back, and we're gonna do 1 dot for 1 5th grade class, and then if you wanna make 20 of them that way for 1 class, and then do 2 dots and 3 dots. It's an easy way to keep track of whose class the tiles are going. So then you're gonna lift it over like that, and then we'll just put it on the green board here. And then that way, since it's kind of upside down, the corners will not tend to lift up. And the other trick for corners not lifting up is to, when they're all done, you're gonna put plastic over it a little bit so that it dries slowly. And that will keep the corners from lifting up too. So that's it. All right. Going on is I'm using the green boards this year. Yesterday I did for the other 5th grade class, which is happening today. It's good to do these tiles a day before, because it's easier to work with if they're not so soft. It's pretty mushy right now. So what I'm doing is I'm putting these out on the green board, 6 on a board, and then I take a garbage bag I got at the dollar store, pack of those, and just kind of lay it flat over there, and then put another one on top another green board on top of that. So I've got, you know, like 5 green boards worth of tiles there for the one class. And it doesn't flatten or make them, you know, bigger or anything if you stack them on there. Pretty sturdy. So you can see how we're stacking these after the kit's finished making them. I'm just using the kiln stands, and you kind of need to group the tiles all to the center so that you have enough room for the stands to go. And then put down the plastic and cover it loosely so that it dries slowly so the edges don't curl up. And then, you know, you can put the stands and then set them on top. And it's actually really more solid than it looks. Like, it's not going to fall over unless somebody crashed into it. So I end up usually putting like 8 trays tall, and then put the last 2 on the kiln. And you know, it'll take a couple of weeks. So after, you can check on them after a day or 2, and what you want to do is make sure that the edges aren't curling up. And if they are and the clay is still wet, you can kind of, you know, bend it down a little bit. But what happens is, if you leave it covered, then they'll be more flat. And then after like a week or so, when they're really dry, you just take all the plastic off, or just a few days, take all the plastic off. And I made it so that the stilts are not sitting on the plastic, so that when you pull them out, it won't fall over. And they've been here over the weekend, so I'm going to take off the loosely covered plastic and on all these, which I did, and then see, that way they aren't curling up very much. That one's a little bit, but we're not going to touch that. So yeah, overall, it's really quite flat.